Good evening and welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Dave Karger. I'll begin our primetime lineup tonight with a question. What's up, Doc? As most of you know, that's the catchphrase of that wascally wabbit, Bugs Bunny. TCM is now the proud home of the Looney Tunes library, and we're celebrating by making its mascot our star of the month. Obviously, Bugs is as famous as any Hollywood star you can name. He even has an Oscar, if we give him credit for director Friz Freleng's 1958 short Nighty Night Bugs, which was produced by John Burton. It won in the short subject cartoon category, a category that goes by animated short film today. Every night this week, we'll be showing some of the best of Bugs' cartoons, along with movies that have similar themes, and in some cases that inspired the shorts. Of course, the cartoons will feature many of Bugs' famous cohorts, including Daffy Duck, Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian, Wile E. Coyote, and the character we begin with tonight, the chronically befuddled Elmer Fudd. Up first, we've got three shorts co-starring Bugs and Elmer, and we begin appropriately with the short that is considered to be the birth of Bugs. Although he appeared as prankster rabbits in a few previous shorts, this is the first one to feature him as the fully developed character that we've come to know. It's a wild hare from 1940. Elmer is hunting wabbits, as he tells us in the first line of dialogue, and Bugs turns out to be his target. He greets Elmer in that inimitable voice delivered by Mel Blanc with his catchphrase, "What's up, Doc?" for the first time, while, of course, munching on a carrot. Although both characters would be redesigned within a couple of years, this cartoon set the stage for their ongoing dynamic, with the wisecracking Bugs repeatedly getting the best of Elmer, as you'll also see in the two shorts that will follow it tonight, Rabbit of Seville from 1950 and What's Opera, Doc from 1957. Those two shorts are among the most celebrated and beloved of all the Bugs Bunny cartoons, both based incredibly loosely on world-renowned operas. I'll talk more about that after the films. Here they are, A Wild Hare, directed by Tex Avery, and two directed by Chuck Jones, Rabbit of Seville and What's Opera, Doc. How's that for an opera? Animation maestro Chuck Jones directed those last two shorts, both considered masterpieces of the art form, with stories by Michael Maltese. Rabbit of Seville is a hilarious take on Rossini's The Barber of Seville, while What's Opera, Doc turns a 14-hour Wagner classic into a 7-minute parody that was inducted into the National Film Registry in 1992. Although Chuck Jones is most associated with Bugs, The Cunning Rabbit had several creators, including Ben Bugs Hardaway, which is where Bugs got his name, and Tex Avery, who directed A Wild Hare and established the cool impudence that Bugs is known for. Avery was also responsible for Bugs saying, "What's up, Doc?" Avery said it was a common expression used when he was growing up in Texas. I also have to mention the man who gave Bugs that unmistakable voice, Mel Blanc. Blanc said he was told that Bugs was a real tough little stinker, so he tried to think of the toughest accents he knew and came up with a combination of Brooklyn and the Bronx. Now we go from one wacky take on opera to another. Next up on TCM is a 1935 MGM comedy starring the Marx Brothers, and it's also the origin of one of Bugs Bunny's most famous lines. Stay with us.
Next on TCM, A Night at the Opera. Then Bugs Bunny's Tortoise and Hare Trilogy. And later, Walk, Don't Run. Pace yourself tonight.